I really do not understand liberals. If you keep the children in facilities until you can figure out who their families are, or separate them from their parents, you are apparently in the wrong. The only thing that liberals do not have a problem with is losing untold numbers of children who end up in de facto slavery. Now, these children are not being separated from their parents, and they are not being kept in facilities. There is really no way to please the average liberal. This is comparing apples to coffee. All of these other items are important and or have value. Tell me what purpose a teacher could have in promoting explicit material to minors, even if it is not explicit. Why is sodomy being celebrated with your tax dollars? Just stick to the academic subjects and leave your politics behind. Elon Musk cannot command soldiers or order airstrikes. Elon Musk cannot negotiate on behalf of America. Elon Musk definitely cannot set tariff rates. If these two really are co-presidents, which is illegal for multiple reasons, by the way, it is the single most one-sided relationship in executive power. Elon Musk acts at the behest of President Trump, not the other way around. Mr. Bennett is really late on this cartoon. Joe Biden has been out of office for a while. After all, our border is secure and we are getting rid of the illegals, some of whom set up military bases. And we are not giving military equipment to our enemies. What did you say? Wait, you mean to tell me this is about Hegseth? Let me guess, Mr. Bennett was not calling out Hillary Clinton's server. And still, we cannot rule out that the screenshots shared of the signal messages were not just photoshopped. Apparently, Mr. Anderson decided to put his own emotions onto this response. When Levitt was asked about this, she remained calm and gave the president's answer, before calling out Amazon's hypocrisy. Amazon, like everyone else, had to raise prices due to Bidenflation. At the time, Amazon was still batting for Team Biden, and thus did not risk labeling the price increase because of Bidenflation. Thus, in my opinion, Ms. Levitt and President Trump are right in their description. There's a difference between Photoshop and putting subtitles over what someone has written. In my experience, even down here in Texas, almost no one speaks any Spanish, aside from words like enchilada and burrito. As such, people like me translate for them. Naturally, a translation of the tattoo was placed on top for those who do not know what the symbols mean. Calling the text photoshopped is deceptive, even for the fake news. Israel is not the one who used a music festival to take hostages who have yet to be returned. Israel is not the one who is launching missiles from schools and playgrounds. Israel is not the one who is training children from grade school to kill the other side from behind a mask. Israel gives Muslims and Christians full rights within their borders. And Israel supporters do not take over college campuses while keeping others out. To live in Israel, one of the only stipulations is that you do not try to kill people by bombs and tunnels. That sounds like a pretty good deal to me. So how is any of that anti-Semitic? Asking for a friend. This is actually a pretty good strategy to avoid deportation. No one would think that the criminal invaders would advertise for the administration who is deporting them. As such, Mr. Bennett is giving us a counterexample by showing us how the illegals can throw off law enforcement. It is really quite clever when you think about it. I always forget that only Democrats are allowed to blame their predecessors. Obama spent all of his time blaming Bush. Biden spent even more of his time blaming Trump, except when something went well for the Biden administration. Biden's press secretaries were called out on that by Peter Doocy, to which he never got a straight answer. If it were not for double standards, liberals would not have any standards at all. How cute. An ad hominem. Science only progresses with debate. Just 200 years ago, doctors bled patients out to cure them. And less than 100 years ago, doctors were recommending cigarettes. Imagine what the mainstream doctors will know tomorrow. However, it is quite clever of Mr. Ramirez to post this cartoon, considering that conservatives are not allowed to criticize the vaccine on most of the big tech platforms, thus creating an echo chamber. First of all, let me address this problem right here. Sesame Street, at least the new episodes, are on HBO, which the executive branch has no authority over. As such, Sesame Street will continue to exist, propped up by the private sector, because like every other television program, it should only be on the air if it makes money, except for those which preach government propaganda with your tax dollars. Because remember that Democrats believe that unless it is managed by the government, it cannot succeed. I love how all of the people who think that tariffs are the end of the world were telling us that Bideninflation was transitory, or literally deny that Bidenomics led to a recession, before changing the definition of the word recession. Also, if tariffs as a tax are raising prices, what have all the taxes levied on American businesses been doing? Oh wait, I forgot that we are not supposed to talk about that.